Jim on his wedding day. And Clyde. There's Anita.
Anita?
And Clyde. Oh. So whose car is that? Do you know?
That's that guy that followed you around on your honeymoon? Who's moved around? Yeah,
Bob West. Is that Lorraine in the middle? Okay, this is August 66. This is August 66 now. There was a trip west with a ball tournament, I think. Some of you boys were in.
Are these all your mom and dad's flags?
Yeah, that's why I'm not familiar with. Okay. There's Dad. I don't know where that is. Is that downtown Salt Lake?
No, this is outside the hotel in New York City. We dropped them off and went on to Main.
It looks like it, but this is 1960. It says 1966 on the slide, so it must be somewhere else. Maybe on the way to. I don't know. Maybe so, but no, it's 67 that you did right after my wedding. Okay. Well, maybe it is. Well, J-U-N-J? Okay. There's Clarence. There's Lorraine in the front. That must... Oh, I think that's out at Merlene's house. Oh, look how young Grandma Gwen is. This must be a Lindsey gathering, a reunion in Salt Lake or something. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, there's that. Is this over in Chelsea? At the Gilmer Chapel?
Looks like Gilmer Chapel. That's Sister's Muscle.
Looks like a Lindsey on the right. Yeah. No, that's Aunt Blanche, isn't it? Oh, those are out of order. Those are Don and Barbara's kids. Let's see, this is a picture of Danny Raft. I wouldn't have known it except this one happens to be labeled. Dad's sister's son. Yeah. There's Janet and Carol Raft. Oh, that must have been on our way to Idaho to Anita's wedding. There's Danny. Again. Tell us about this ball tournament, Sam.
I don't know. It's a ball game.
Okay, this is Sam again. Oh, on one of these slides it says game at Beaumont, Texas, so it must have been a regional. Sam and, what's that boy's name? Don Nash?
Showboat,
Lorraine with, whose baby are you holding, Lorraine? Is that Nita? Is that Mark?
Oh, that's Scott.
No. Is that Mark? That's Janet and Carol Raft. It's up at Merlene and Bill Raft. How Cobb. That looks like... Oh, I'll bet that is Harris's boy. What was his first? John was the first one, and then Peter. This is out in Grandview.
Whose car is that?
I don't know who.
That was our Cutlass. I mean, not our Cutlass, but our Oldsmobile. This is good. That must be Dave.
I don't know.
No, that's not me. That's the smart man.
What the boy?
right out of, I don't know, that might have been one of the rocks you saw on that vacation you took after I was married. It might be out of place, I don't know. There were just these pictures that oh, okay, this is at Mount Rushmore.
Were you on that trip?
Nope, I was on a trip with you.
He had to choose there. Where were we?
On our honeymoon.
Oh. On their way out to New York.
Yeah, this is on their way to New York after they came out for our wedding.
That's not Rushmore. I'm so glad you chose to go with me. It was boring without you.
I don't know who that is. What?
Right? You want to slide out of here?
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, there's Dad at the rent. Okay. Oh, he wanted a close-up of that, huh?
That's all right. I'll come back to it.
At Central Park, they were shooting for a magazine. We were watching over there.
Okay. Got that focus still?
Yeah, that woman looking at it. Somebody. Okay. He was a union representative.
He went all the way to New York for that meeting, went to the hotel and tell the story, Lorraine, then turned around and came back out. He was too.
No, he was supposed to take the plane, where was it, Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, yeah.
And he went all the way up there, and he had babies there to help him.
We drove in there rushing, trying to catch the plane, and we ran up to the gate or whatever, and he didn't get on the plane anyway. I don't know whether he missed it or what. But he only had like a couple of minutes to make the plane. It was good. But we didn't.
Then they went up to.
Well, he was late for the convention. We drove to New York and dropped him off.
Oh, he did go to the convention. Well, they went on up to Maine to see Mom's sister Wanda and her husband Don and their kids. These are some of the pictures of the trip. Oh, interspersed with the New York pictures. There's Cobb.
In New York, we enjoyed just sitting on the corner watching the people.
And there's Cobb and Lorraine. See, is that one of Wanda's kids? Is that Wanda and Don in the background and Mom on the far left? Lorraine.
That's good so far.
Okay. Now what was this? I couldn't tell whether that was Anita.
It looks like Anita.
This looks like it's Maine again. It's Don and Wanda. Oh, and back to New York. Oh, Wanda's sister. There's Don and Wanda and two of their girls. This is Don and Wanda Carter. Wanda Cobb Carter. There's Lorraine in the red sweater. What's this little girl's name? Do you remember? I don't know. I've never seen Wanda's kids. There's Wanda and one of her little babes.
We went out there and bought fresh lobster and boiled it on the beach and ate it.
Oh. The Wanda and Don's kids.
Ray on the right. Is
Who?
Ray.
Oh, yeah, she does look good. Okay, Don and Wanda again. Wanda and one of her little girls. Let's see, that's Dodie, Wanda's oldest, and their only son, George. That's Don. Oh, they were building a... This is Mom's brother, Para.
No, that's in Bountiful, isn't it?
Oh, right, this is back in Bountiful. That might have... As a matter of fact, Paris is the one who took the pictures of our wedding, 4 rolls worth, and he lost them. We do not have one picture of our wedding day. Mom took pictures on some of these rolls and exposed them in New York, and so we have absolutely nothing. This is Paris and his wife and their first son, John.
Sounds like it's nullified. Never consummated. Never developed.
Yeah. Okay, this is another ball tournament. Is this one where you came out to Salt Lake?
This is that Beaumont here.
Oh, Beaumont again? It's got a different year on it.
Number 2 down.
Is that David?
No.
Oh no, that was 67 years.
I wrote him, but I never heard one from him.
That's Grandpa and Melissa Cobb, the one who was killed in the car accident September 6 years ago. I don't know. I just saw that, so. And that's Mark. That's in Merlene and Bill's house in Bountiful. Oh, for Milton's funeral, right? You were there. That was February. Oh, well, that's in June of '68. And she's got Doug.
Oh, there's Larry and Myrtle.
Yeah, we went down.
I like that June of
Okay, this is,
the newlyweds cruising around. Oh, is that Lorraine? No. No, that isn't it.
it's Anita and Jim. That was in February of '68, I guess. That goes with that other picture of Mom. This is at Merlene's house. Is that Ken in the background? Okay, there we are again.
Yep, that's us, right there. You need to put a poster of that one in the Dead, done.
Oh my goodness, that was Jack. Oh, the trees are bare. Look at all those flowers.
December of 67?
Yeah. What would you bury? January 1st of '68 or something? I don't know what that is. In Texas. This is Sam and Danny Raft, it looks like. Yeah, it goes with that other picture. I don't know what this is.
Might have been that New Orleans picture.
Oh, that's true. Oh, this is '68. That must have been when we went down there. This is Jewel Paul Hunt or Hunt Paul or something. This is one of Mom's relatives. So. This is that trip south in June of '68.
Does that belong to your dad first, David, and you bought it from him? Right. Got it from him?
I didn't remember you were with us on that trip, David.
Yep, sure was. This is the one that we had the picture of Lorraine, that we called the Mary Poppins picture.
Oh, yeah, she has that little red and white umbrella over her head. That was New Orleans, wasn't
Where
it?
did you stay there? Was it a motel or a hotel?
It was a motel.
I remember a hotel, and
Push,
Merrill remembers.
push it. They don't move them wrong. If he's taking pictures of them. Yeah, I just moved to the... Oh, that's a good one.
Well, that's a D.C. here.
Oh,
All of our country.
what? That must have been the trip
Grammar things of Moroni.
after our wedding then. Okay. Yeah, that one looks...
First Infantry Division, United States Army.
Okay. Yeah, that was the trip, the East trip. Well, please take a lesson from this and label all of your pictures, please. Oh, there's another of Grandpa and Melissa. Grandpa Cobb, and that's Eric. That's Glenn's oldest son, Eric Cobb. That's Eric again. There's Marta and Eric and Glenn. Last reunion before Mom died, and the reunion right after Dad died.
Who's the newborn?
That's little John. That's when he was left in the wilderness. Can't tell who that is. Kirsten and Elizabeth. This is out at Bruno, Idaho. It's Kirsten. Well, that's in Seattle at Mom's apartment. That little Tanya. Hard to tell those, or is that a hip well? Paul.
We'll talk to Mom about having bright lights and shadows. A little better.
Oh, Larry's dad and Mom came up and
That's
visited.
top in the background.
Yeah, and his long hair. That's Larry Tippett. Wayne Tippett. Okay, Grandma Gwen came up, and also Orville and his wife, who were living in Pocatello for a year or two, came, and that's one of Orville's sons. Oh, little Samuel and Jonathan. They've been playing hard. So red he is. Lindsey. Oh, let's see. Grandma, Gwen Lindsey. Who's in the back with the stripe on his shirt? Is that
That's Orville.
Aunt Orville? Where's his wife, Carolyn? Oh, well. Another one of those big dots. Yeah. Well, there's Alicia. A little toe-headed. That's 84. Oh, that's a good picture of Mom and baby John.
We've got a lot of these same poses I remember taking.
There's Larry and the Maryland. Tippett.
Larry does too.
blouse. Oh. Sam's children, Becky and Ruth Marie and Samuel. Mom's cat Wesley.
What is he these days?
With Michael and Heather. And Steve, look how young Steve looks. Is that Larissa or Marianne? Okay. These are Sam and Leanne's brother Sam's wife. And that's three kids. That's baby John, who was blessed in the wilderness. Anita and baby John. And some real cousins. And Elizabeth and Ruth Marie. Oh, look there at Ben. Todd and Marianne. And there's Larry's cat Wayne and Mary Tippett in the background.
Now, weren't these slides interesting? And to think this room was full when we started. Hey, Murray. And you want Rachel too, huh? Hi, Rachel. Hi. Gonna wave to me? Oh, at least sing a song and do a little dance for you.
What's the song Heather was singing? Come over here, Anita, and sing a song. Let's sing Beautiful Dreamer.
Come on, Anita.
I don't know how they talk to that. Well, I can see how they talk to that, but I just don't see how they talk to them singing the 23rd Psalm the next year.
What reunion was that?
The Chinese reunion. They talk, Anita and me were singing Beautiful Dreamer at Paris Place. And he forgot the music, and he had to start over again. He kept having to start over. So we didn't have to start over. What?
Let's hear the first line.
Come on, Anita. Beautiful dreamer, come to me. I can't remember.
You haven't lost a thing, Myrtle. Come on, Anita, we need your voice. Oh, Clyde, Lorraine's going to love this picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna like that one.
Heather in the boys' bathroom with her arm around you. What's going on here?
plastic on the white came apart.
No. You think that?
It's okay if we move those steel ones because they'll take the pressure. Okay, that's... Okay.
Watch that, Donnie. Hop out of the way.
Okay, you can hop down.
There you go. Thank you.
Becky? Becky? Rachel needs to wash her hands.
Hey, Brad. Brad. This one I know is from Ben. It says it's a surfer. And it's by Rachel. And this is by Elise Margaret. Hey Sam, what are the things that you really like doing at this reunion? Oh, and what did you like, Donnie? Huh? Oh, he knows better than that. Did you like your cousins? What did you like, Larissa? I mean, Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Swimming? That was your favorite? How about you, Cameron? Hey, don't run away. What are the things you like best? Huh? To do best at the reunion. What kind of thing? What things did you really like to do at the reunion? Did you? Did you like steal the flag? What are some of the things you enjoyed doing at the reunion? Swimming best? Anything else? And capture the flag? Where you going, Lee? She wants her picture taken, hon. Come here, Lacey. Where you go? Woo! You're dancing, huh? Can you do some more dancing? Whoop. Bonk. You like that music? Maybe Murray can dance with you too. And Donnie? You want to dance, Donnie? Woo!
I think for the rest of us, we'll have to have them make a double roll.
Oh, you're not going to get this one? This
Oh,
little one?
Rick,
Oh, you're right. I can't get them.
and Becky, we need Mary Ann to be in a picture in the back.
Get back to back.
That's the little one in front.
Sam can stand there with her. We want her there. Ben,
See how tall you are.
Go sit down in front with
Okay,
can you hold us so they can take a picture? Where's your glasses?
Saying you hold him, I don't want to hold him.
Want to come with me?
2, 3, say, Lindsey!
That's cute.
Look at his
Okay,
grin.
now let's get a double roll.
I gotta get
You
James.
better get two of them.
Yeah, look at James.
Brad, forward, would you come stand in front of
Carl,
Jared?
you guys stay right back in there just for
All you
another
guys
minute or
do
two.
is stand in front of the...
Put Eric and James together. That will be it.
Yeah.
Two dads with the two boys.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, and you just put him on your lap and swap. That's Bob, can you get him down right there?
Look at that. Look, you better get it.
How about you, Fred?
That's a gummer.
Okay. Now let's get all the parents, the brothers and sisters together.
Just a minute. I haven't got it.
Oh.
Shoot it.
Okay. Oh, that's nice, Heather. Would you get in? Hey, Jared, just a little bit closer. Stand back. Uh-oh. Got Miss Elizabeth on that one. Well, she was in the first one.
Okay. Can we get all you brothers and sisters together? 500 is about right. Okay. Make sure you're not having the sun cut in your land. Okay.
Wow.
Nope. I mean, I've got some of Nita, but I don't know if it was just a meal.
Smile.
Stand up, Heather.
Did you dog somebody?
Donnie, come here, buddy. Right on 500.
Smile.
Wait a minute.
Whoa, got another kid.
Hey, come here, buddy.
Your kids are okay.
Oh, you want to be in that family? Johnny.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
Carl's got to get it.
Right there. They're smiling. Can't you tell when they're smiling?
Okay, now next family clock. Move your family up, please.
Okay, they're in there. Closer the better. Normally in pictures when you get the print, closer
Not
you are
necessarily
the
just
better.
stand, Brad. Just a little more.
Rusty told me.
Are you all ready?
Okay, Sam.
Mama, you need a picture.
Okay.
Get that, get that.
For this picture.
We'll get one of the meat.
Yeah.
You're right there. Looks like a mother dog kitty carrying her pup. Ooh.
Come on, Johnny. Smile.
Whoop, Carl. You can either cry or smile, but you got to do one or the other. Or second.
Look down.
Look at James.
Baby, he smiles perfect.
He's in a steady smile.
Did you get it, Sam? I mean, Carl.
I got him.
Okay.
Okay.
Next family.
Okay. Uh-oh.
You want us to get something natural or fake or?
It's only funny once.
Oh, we haven't taken their family yet, so you get to be in.
Oh, I don't
Put
want
your arm around me.
Kissing.
Take that away, though, for all the rest of you. Is everybody smiling?
I got one more, 2 more. Okay. Okay, David.
Okay, David, and then right here.
Come on over. It's recording when the
Hey, John.
red light's on, Dave.
It'll say recorded, it's not right in the corner.
Oh, okay.
Ben, I can see your tongue.
Larry, the red light went away. What does that mean?
Hey, Ben,
You gotta come take this picture.
Smile, Elise. Hey, Nancy Sue. Nancy Sue. Why are you frowning?
Come on, Elizabeth.
Don't have pretty face.
Someday he'll hate us. Did you get it right? Yeah, that's not nice. One day.
Hi, Elizabeth. You're on candid camera.
Elise. Okay, Larry, come take this one. They
What?
don't know what's wrong. There you
There's
go.
nothing wrong. It's just that it turns off after a little bit, and you have to turn it back on.
Oh. Okay, just a minute.
No, I turned it off.
Okay, just a minute. One more. Oh.
Take an ass. You want that double? Yeah.
These are mine, Craig. I got yours up in my room. What? Yours, Ben. Mine.
Where Grayson is, where we live down there, it's about 10 miles from here, maybe 11. And I've been across that creek with my daddy when the water come up in that creek up and over the road, and the water come up in the bed of the wagon, and he was never swim to get across.
How old were you then?
Well, I was just a kid. I was probably 9, 10 years old, but when we moved down there, I was 7, I guess, or 8. And that place, 500 acres there.
Yeah.
And he cleared land every year. And he had sharecroppers, about 6 or 8 first, to feed and everything for the mules, and they'd make a crop and get the grass and get knee deep, and then you go off and leave it. And we had tried to work it and pick it. Of course, he always lost money messing with it. Most of the cotton we ever made down there, I think he ate 52 bales one year. And he could have got 12 cents a bale for it, a pound. But he decided he was going to hold it and get 15. And he finally hauled it to Winsboro, which is 30 miles from here in a wagon, and got 6 cents for it.
Drop, the price drop.
Yeah.
What year was that, do you remember? About what year? Was that when
But
you
Grayson's down there, and where Stanley's Mill was, when I was about 7 or 8 years old, me and old Ray Stanley used to pass the sacrament there, and Hubert and Johnny. We run together, us 4, up and down that creek. It runs from our house, where we lived over out of Grayson, clear on down there. They call it Walnut Creek. We used to carry Mary Jane down there, and she'd sit on a log, and she'd catch more fish than all of us kids could put together. She was a fisher. But we'd go hunting down there at night. We'd get lost. And when you get lost when you hunt at night with an old lantern, you just walk in circles. You come back to the same place, you just walk. And we come out in that meadow down there where all Papa's cattle and horses was. And we knew them just like we knew our back of our hand, but we didn't recognize none of them. Because when you get lost, you get scared. But us kids to get lost in them woods at night, we possum hunt.
Tell her about getting on the Stanley horse that put his tongue to the track.
About what?
Getting Johnny Stanley to put his tongue to the track. To the railroad track?
Oh, he went out one morning, it's cold.
Who did?
Or Ray John one, I don't remember which one it was. But he went out, it was real cold, and he kneeled over and stuck his tongue, that railing, his tongue stuck to it. Sister Stanley had to heat from water and carry it down there and pour it on it, melt it before he get his tongue loose.
Did y'all say you were waiting for the school, to go to school or something?
Did we what?
Were you waiting, were you going to school? Were you on your way?
No, we lived about a mile and a half from MC, back this way from that mill. Where we lived, Harv Helms owned it now. And there was a big red barn there. My dad put peanuts up in that barn and the blackbird to get in there, and then we'd close the door and get in there with a fishing cane, whoop them off of them rafters. We'd kill 100 blackbird in a little while. But that's not the same house nor the big red barn either, but Harv Helm lived there. He got a lot of money. He owned that place. He owned Catalina's mail there.
Did you
Speak up, George.
Oh, did Grandpa, did he rent that place or did he buy that place?
No, he rented that place from Mr. McGinnis. Uncle Sale used to come there and see us nearly every year. They had these old type telephones, you know, that you on the wall. And so we Don hooked a wire to it, carried it out in the yard and tied a can on it. He's gonna talk to us through that can. And I got on that phone and started cranking it, and it started shocking Don, and he started hollering and couldn't turn it loose. And I just kept cranking it. And finally somebody jerked me off the phone. Let Don get loose. I think we must have lived down there about 7 or 8 years.
What are some of the things you remember about Grandpa?
Well, I know he just worked himself to death all the time. And we worked too. Occasionally we might get to go to town, but if we got a dime, boy, we was rich. He brought me to town twice to have a tooth pulled. My teeth was too thick. Said I need one of them pulled out. And both times he brought me, well, going home, he said it hurt me to pull that tooth. Never did have it pulled. And I seen him hang a nigger up here on this courthouse lawn to a elm tree. And my dad didn't know I was saying. He had me behind him and he's standing talking to a guy. But I could peek through his legs, and I seen when they jerked that out from under him, he fell. And there's a guy, I guess he's weighed 230, 40 pounds with a pair of spurs on him, and jumped on him and started spurring. But they killed him. He hung right there and died.
What they hang him for?
He'd raped a white woman. They run him all over the country here, and they finally caught him. And my dad don't know to this day that I seen him. I never did tell him I seen him. I was about 10 years old then.
What was a typical day then?
When we left there, we moved right out here at this Lone Mountain on Dupree place. And we stayed there. And he left there and went to Dr. Wynn's.
I remember the little house in the corner of the yard at Dr. Wynn's place, it's where his office was. I believe Vera lived there, didn't she?
I think that's where no, it wasn't. Grandpa Lindsey died out here in Enid, that place he owned that place before we went to Arkansas. He sold it and went to Arkansas and bought one and stayed 10 months and come back. He leased the whole freight train just about to carry his cattle. He carried every horse and cow he had and all of his stuff out there. And they'd done the same thing coming back.
Who did that?
My dad. We was in Arkansas when World War I ended.
Why did y'all go to Arkansas?
Huh?
Why did you go to Arkansas?
I don't know why he went out there. That's when Tom Bradshaw and his kid lived with us after Maud died, you know. She died when we lived out here at Enum.
Wasn't it for Aunt Mamie's health or Maud's health?
Whose house?
It was.
Maud had already died, and Elvin too. That little one was their baby.
Aunt Mamie had been real sick, and the doctor had told them they needed to go up there.
Well, I don't know how he moved, but he moved. He come back, and that's when he went down on his place at Grace's. Well, I don't know who all lived down there. Could Uncle Johnny lived down there. J.B. lived down there.
Down where at Grayson?
Yeah.
I believe Mama told me that she was 13 years old when they came back from Arkansas.
Don lived down there. And that little thing right now, you had to flip a little thing at the top on the phone.
Right here.
Hello. Oh, they're not here. Yes. Have them call Deborah. 759-9474. Okay.
Push that back, Joy, the switch.
Who they call? 759-9474.
Hello, Charles Ellis.
You better save that for Myrtle. She needs
I got another one right now.
One Christy to call. That was
Wanted who to call?
Christy to call.
Oh, I picked that up and flip that little button to one side like you did before. And mash off to number 7 on there. That was Christy.
Oh,
Now, see how automatic down at the bottom, that little button? Mash it, and then mash number 7. That's Christy.
Only Christy.
All you got is set for all the girls. You just mash that. She can call Kathy in Dallas, mashing 2 numbers.
That's great.
She got the first part, first number is Hamberlin, I guess, and the police.
Uncle Raymond, didn't I tell you about Maxine Hardman's? This is her stepson. That, you know, he comes up to Big G with us sometimes.
Ray Hardman's his uncle, wasn't
Kinda.
Huh?
I said kinda. Anyway, this is Maxine's stepson here.
he? Did she the one lived out here by that little old wrecking yard on the highway?
That must be her sister.
nothing.
She lives at, Maxine lives at White Oak.
What happened?
Didn't get her?
What did it do?
That no one's there. No one's there. I put the number here, though, that she's to call.
That's in Longview, ain't
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, ask another question, Joy.
Oh. What was a typical day at home when you remember being at home?
it? The typical day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
Well, it's
went
very
to work.
different.
Soon as it got daylight, and when it got dark, you come home. Went to that field and work. And when we went to school, they wouldn't let me play ball at school at all. We went home after school was out, and we worked till dark when we got home. 4 o'clock in the morning, we was in the, when we was going to school, 4 o'clock in the morning, we was in that corn crib shucking corn for them old horses and hogs to feed them.
It was very different than a day today.
Yeah.
What about milking the cows?
About what?
Milking cows. Did they have to be milked before you went to school?
No, I didn't have to milk cows, but Papa and Mama milked them, and I guess some of the older ones. Might have milked some, but I never had to milk cows at home.
How much property was there when they lived out there with the standing mill in that area? How much property do y'all have there to work?
Or,
At Grace's? Well, where the standing mill is, I forget which one it is. There.
how much land, you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that place, it was 500 acres.
Oh, that one was 500. How much?
But there was a lot of it that wasn't clear, but we had all of it we need to work and a bunch of others too.
Well, yeah, I knew it wasn't. And I knew there was 100 acres out here at this place at Enum, wasn't there?
Yeah, but might have been on Dr. Wynn's place, but McGinnis owned the place joining it there, and Arthur lived on it, I lived on it, and Oscar Odom lived on it, Bessie Johnson's mother,
Uh-huh.
he lived on it. But I didn't live out there on it until I quit work for Freeport Supper Company in 1931. I come back there. I worked a little piece of bottom land down there. I made 3 bales of cotton off of 2 acres. Cotton got higher than your head. It was good land.
That's hard to believe, higher than your head.
Oh, I've seen it. Much higher than my head.
My goodness.
Out in New Mexico. I never seen it that way here, but Mama had told me that it grew that way here.
That's that damn thing. For you, what do you?
There's one of them ghosts in this house.
Well, you got a thing over there, you just mash that red button, turn it on. That's that tape you made yesterday.
I know.
Where were you born, Raymond?
I was born out here at Enum.
Okay.
My dad owned that place.
That's where you moved to when you came here from Milam County.
Yeah,
when
I
they
was the
came.
first. I was the 15th child and the first one to ever have a doctor. My mother, my
Who
baby
was-
doctor.
Me too.
Who was the doctor?
Dr. Wing.
That's right.
He was my doctor too.
He is ours.
So 15 kids, huh?
16.
16 kids? Good
Well, there
land.
was one after me too.
Yeah, Hubert. So you lived at Enum first when you came here, when they came from Milam County, they
Yeah.
lived at Enum. And then
No, yeah.
which place did they move to? After Enum?
He sold it and went to Arkansas.
Went to Arkansas. Then he came back to what place?
Down here by Stanley's Mill.
And then where?
Out here at Long Mountain at Dufresne's, on Dufresne's place.
And then where?
And at Dr. Wynn's place. And then he left Dr. Wynn's place. He moved out here on this Claywater Highway on Miss Isaac Phillips' place. That's where he died.
Okay.
That's out of West Mountain.
And he lived behind that place before
No,
he lived there too.
before he lived at Miss Isaac Phillips's, he lived over behind there, on that old road back in behind there.
And Uncle Lawrence lived up around the corner from him. He lived, I think there was a corner just down from the house, and Uncle Lawrence lived. And that's when they went to Mississippi. They went to Mississippi from there.
Yeah. But I didn't think Arch lived down there. I know Don did, Harley did, and I did. But I don't think Arch ever lived down there.
Okay, I was thinking, I guess it was Uncle Don lived around the corner there.
Yeah, he lived up there.
Yeah, get some of them things mixed
And
up.
after
I
Don
forget.
left there, Polly moved in that house. But Polly, he lived him and Vera lived in the house with Papa for 10, 12 years.
They lived in a house across the road from Grandpa once too, didn't they? Down there, behind the place where we're talking about. Didn't they live in a little house?
Down here West Mountain, Stanley Carter built a house for Papa. Never was painted. And he lived in that house. It was just across the road from where Papa lived down here at West Mountain.
Now you're talking about the last place he lived.
Yes. Now here on Beaufort Place, Sadie and Jim Henry lived out there. And Bill Cook lived out there. But Paul lived in the house with Papa out there.
Well, I've never seen such big Easter egg hunts as they used to be down that hill behind Grandpa's and Grandma's when they lived out there.
Out there.
The last place they lived, that big firehouse
West
on
Mountain.
the highway.
Aubrey here's Mississippi a while back. And I had to take him down there. He'd been out driving around hunting that place. And all Silas was here. From over here time. It wasn't Aubrey. And Silas remembered living down there. See, they living with us. Till Tom married Ethel. And I had to take him down there and show it, and he'd been right by it and didn't recognize it because that big red barn, that big old house wasn't there.
Oh, yeah. That was a pretty place.
Well, Aubrey comes up pretty often from Mississippi.
Katie called this morning. Said Neva and Ted was getting along good, but that Lloyd was going down fast. And they was to come up here, but Aubrey's secretary had to do something about getting her kid in school somewhere, and Aubrey couldn't come, and so they didn't come. That was for David's open house, her son. But she said, told Kathleen she might just get in her car and hook them this way, that she had I don't know what it was, she had to do something about Monday. Something about a bank account anyway. She had a CD or something due, and she had to change it or do something.
Well, what is Aubrey's business, raising cattle now?
Well, he's about 60 head of grown cows, but this watering system, it's up where the ley lines all over the community and drill water wells, and you got running water in your house. He's over that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, next time he comes and has time, I want to come up with my camera. I'll have to call him, I guess, about that.
Ramond, did you ever go to school at Kelsey?
No. The first year I went to school was at Enid, just before we went to Arkansas.
Was it the Enon school?
Yeah. And I went to school in Arkansas, and then Grayston, and then Ashland. We closed that in Grayston, and I had a big school down at Ashland. We went there, then when we left there, we went to Bowman Mountain out here. And then I went to Gilmer the last 2 years of school. We still live in the Long Mountain.
What grade was your last grade?
10th, I like the year finishing high school.
I did too. Grandpa moved around quite a bit, didn't he?
Yeah. He moved on a place and it all down and he filled it up. When he died, we couldn't move it up at Collinsville, way up the other side of Sherman. On the way, me and Don come home for the weekend, and he was having a lot of prostate trouble, and I had pretty good tires, but I went to town and bought me 4 new tires. Had them put on, was up under my car, changed oil, and I think you take him to over here out of Fort Worth, some little place.
That hospital.
And have prostate surgery, and Arthur come by with a white hog that he bought my daddy. He just eat a banana. And he just fell back on the bed. That's the end of it. Never did move, I said. Guy fired chain oil in my truck car.
Oh, I'll never forget that. We were in town.
I went down in the office crying and said, we just let him work himself to death. Well, you see, the Raglands was giving him, told him he had heart trouble. And they were giving him medicine. And then he went finally went to Chain, went to Dr. Childers. And Dr. Childers looked at that medicine, said, who gave you this? And he told him, he said, yeah, I've got no heart trouble, and he just threw him away. Well, I don't know, it was just a year or two after that before he died, but Dr. Childers said it was a heart attack kid.
Well,
Just before he was 80 years old. He'd been 81 in January, but he died in April 26th.
what year?
1940.
And he had just, he was raising a crop of corn when he died.
Yeah, he's splitting posts too, making posts. He always had wedges in the mall. He'd saw them old trees down, he'd split them, make posts, big thick with us all the time. Yeah, he's doing something all the time.
Do you remember Grandpa's brothers and sisters?
Well, I remember Uncle Sarah and Uncle Joe.
Did you ever know his sisters?
Well, if they ever come up here, I'd seen them, but I don't remember. They're in Miles County, weren't they? Ain't Roxy?
Yeah. Wasn't that Aunt Dave?
I don't know.
Oh, I may be wrong, that might be his daddy's sister. How old were you when his father died?
I must not have been over 3 years old. I don't know when he died. But I remember him. He had a big, long beard. I remember him rocking me in his lap.
Hmm.
But I couldn't have been over 3 or 4 years old when he died.
Do you know, we didn't realize that he came to Kelsey and lived at Kelsey until we were talking to somebody and they were telling us about it.
I never remember. I think Papa went to Alabama and got it. He was sick when he went to got it. So, your mother probably knows more about it than I do.
Well, let's see, I believe Vaughn was gathering history for the Kelsey Monument when she found that out. Lived
Shut
up
that
there.
off, take the rest of it out there and let Myrtle talk on it.
Lived over there in the Bell House, I think.
You don't feel up to going with us today?
No, I don't believe I'll go.
I
I didn't think you'd feel too good today. But we'll see if you feel better another day.
He
needs to rest.
I sat up to 12:30 or 1 o'clock last night, thinking I'd sleep better, but I woke up at 3 or 4 and never too much.
Well, it's hard to leave, but do you want to go, Joy, now? And I know Uncle Raymond probably needs a nap.
Raymond, when you talk to her today, tell her it was a woman called, a friend or something. I can't remember her name. Couldn't remember long enough to
She
say.
probably wants to borrow some money. She got money off Christy and them didn't pay her. Christy used to work with her, I think. Her and her husband been separated and then they got back together.
Well, I don't know what my history is that she want me to tell.
I want you to tell about the rose.
Lord, I got that figured out. It'll make it funny.
What would I say?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have that on now, do you?
I'm trying to.
When Grandma was doing,
Joy, behave. We won't hear about Aunt Myrtle making bread now.
Oh, I mix my bread up in a stewer real good, and I pour it out on my floured dough cloth and work it, mix it until it's stiff enough, and then I put it back in the stewer and let it rise. And I work it down again and let it rise again. And then I make it out in loaves or rolls, whatever I'm going to do about it.
What time do you start doing this?
Well, I usually like to start early in the morning, so I won't be till night getting through. When I bake a lot of it, and I give it all away when I'm by myself except 2 or 3 rolls. And I've made 4 and 5 pans, or sometimes 6, and just send it out and give it to people.
Well, who do you most often give it to?
Well, I give some to my grandchildren or great-grandchildren around me. And I send some out to the sick. Like Kay, she's quite sick now. And I've been thinking I'd make some today and send her some. But I don't know whether she even feels like eating it or not. I'm afraid Kay won't ever make it. Lana is feeling much better. She stays on the road a lot.
On the road to where?
I don't know.
Lana's been feeling terrible.
Lana. She didn't tell. I haven't heard her say that. She's always going and working.
Well, she's working.
And she brought the walking stick back the other day. I thought maybe she's feeling better.
Roll your chair up just a little.
She's been real sick this week.
she looks like my grandma.
What made her sick is,
She's sick or something. Now, y'all don't whisper if you got anything to say that loud enough. We don't want people wondering what y'all are saying. Anyway, tell us about the cake you baked today.
I baked that cake for Charles Steele.
What kind of cake?
It's a pound cake.
How often do you bake one, Mama?
He gave me that basket of strawberries, that red basket you taken off the table, with strawberries in it last
Put the strawberries
Thursday night.
way over here.
And so I thought I'd bake him, and he always takes me in the car and rolls me out there where I can get in the car.
When?
After the dance, on Thursday night. And I get in the car, and he puts a wheelchair in the car for Faring or Joy, whoever's taking me. It'll be Joy tonight.
How often do you bake this cake, Mama?
I keep one of them cakes baked all the time to eat at home. But that one's not to eat at home. This other one's not to eat at home.
About how often is that?
Well, it's usually one a week. But if it goes before the week's gone, I bake another one.
My goodness.
How much flour do you buy at one time to bake rolls and cakes? I buy 100 pounds of flour when the man has the flour in by the 100 pounds. The kind I want. This isn't the kind I want, so I've just been getting it in 10 pounds till he gets it in. And he said it'd probably be 2 weeks yet. I got him. Henry Lee Davies, wholesale house.
How much bread was it your mother baked on the weekend for the children?
Oh, I don't know how much my mother baked. She baked, oh, quite a lot of it. I don't know how much.
I think it was 17 loaves.
It probably was.
And then there wouldn't be,
Any left long.
not for Monday morning.
But there was quite a family of us. 16 children.
She would
Of
bake
course.
that on Friday or Saturday, and very often there would not be bread for their lunch to take to school on Monday morning. They'd bring so many guests home.
Well, there's 16 children, and they never knew how many was coming home with them. I know one time they went down to Grayston, a bunch of them, and they couldn't get home that night, and Mammy told them to come to our house. And they didn't know how my parents would feel about it, but there's never no complaint about it. My parents always welcomed anybody, and I always tried to have a food ready for them to eat.
Well, how much bread, how often do you bake rolls?
Well, I quite often bake them twice a week when I want to send them around to different people, families. And I send them to the sick people too. And I wanted to send Kay some today because I know she's real sick. I didn't know Lana was being sick again. I hadn't heard of her complaining at all, and she brought the walking stick back like she could get around without it now.
And when she bakes, that's an all-day job, when she bakes rolls.
Sometimes I make some up the second time while that first is doing its rising. I make some up by the time it's ready to come out of the big pan that I mix it in. Well, I start another mixing and bake bread twice that day. But I just give it away. When Fayreen wasn't here with me and so many grandchildren coming in, I'd give it all away but 2 or 3 rolls, but now I usually keep a pan full of it here from to eat. And so many in and out most every day. You can't imagine how many folks come through here every day.
Well, do they grab a broom and whatever they need to help
I
you out?
do that.
You do that?
I keep the children, and when they're all gone, I sweep the house.
And mop the floor and wash the dishes or whatever needs to be done.
I went out, it was dark, getting dark, and I turned on the light and went out and swept the porch last night, or night before last, I believe. And the walk to the gate, and I thought I'll open that gate and sweep that back off of the end of the walk. But then I decided it's hard to keep this wheelchair up there. It's hard to roll it on up when it gets a little up grade. And then I have to lock it if I turn loose for anything. But I didn't sweep it off at the end of the walk out of the gate there. I just decided I'd leave that.
And what time did you quit working last night? Or not?
Well, I quit earlier last night. I didn't have so much sweeping and cleaning to do last night. And then I watched one show on TV. I heard the news, 10 o'clock news. I had to go back out there to hear that. And I watched one show. But I believe yesterday morning I went to bed about 4 o'clock. And when I go to bed that late, I get up a little later in the morning. When I wake up, I get up.
You spent 4 o'clock in the morning? 4 o'clock in the morning? Oh, I thought you said 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, wait, get up.
One day, I'd been up the night before, and I lay down and rested for about an hour and a half or 2 hours. Late in the evening, I got up and I worked all night that night. I lay down after daylight the next morning and taking me a nap. But it's just doing what I want to do. I do it when I want to, when there's nobody here but me. I work if it's daylight and I want to keep going, I do. And then if I decide to take a nap, I do. But the time I lay down a while that evening, I got up I didn't go to bed that night. I stayed up and kept working most of that day.
That night, you mean?
That day,
Oh,
after I hadn't slept the night before.
right. What were you doing all day that day?
Whatever I wanted to do. When I'm by myself, I do when I want to. I can't tell what you say. Children. Still don't.
Speak up.
My parents lived on the Cahaba River. My grandparents lived on the Cahaba River in Alabama. And that's where their children were born. And after my father grew up and was married, they got studying, the missionaries came and they started studying the Book of Mormon and joined the church, were baptized just down in the Cahaba River.
Why'd the missionaries come?
Where my grandparents lived, right there on the banks of that river. They were just out visiting people, trying to get members of the church. And that's why they joined the church, and my father decided he knew it was right, and they were baptized there in the Cahaba River in Alabama. And they left there with the missionary on the train. There was 2 carloads on that train.
In the train.
Now you stop. There was 2 carloads on that train of Mormons going to Utah. And they got to Utah on Saturday evening, and they asked my parents to stay there at their home. And they stayed there until Monday morning, and then a relative of my father's came by, and he was going to Gray's Lake, I believe, and wanted my parents to go. They went out there and stayed until they had 3 or 4 more children, and they'd had a hard time there. And my mother decided that my father's sister and her husband, Aunt Roxy and Uncle John, went to Milam County from Alabama. And my mother asked my father, let's go down there. They'd had a hard time there, and they went there and stayed down there in that area until they had 14 children. And I was about 4 years old when we left there. We was living in the home where we moved to when I was 4 years old. And we came here because of the church.
How old were you when you came here?
I was 11 in September, and we came in November. And in 1910. And Arthur, my brother, was living up here, and Uncle Johnny, my father's brother, met us at the train. The next morning after we'd left where we lived. And part of us went to Uncle Johnny's and part of us to Arthur's. And stayed until the carloads of stuff came in, and then I stayed with Flossie and the children and did a little picking of cotton and scraping cotton back of the house that Papa had asked me to pick. And I wondered why he didn't ask anybody else. I didn't realize I was to stay there and the rest of to all go on. So I picked the cotton and stayed there until the college stuff came in, and Arthur and Uncle Johnny went and laid them and hauled them out to the top of the college place at evening. And I stayed there until on Sunday evening. Players came after me and carried me to the church. And that was the first time I'd been over to the church. Kelsey? In Kelsey. And after Mutual that night, they drove home. We was in a buggy, him and Geneva and I. And he tried to scare me all the way home, going through the woods. We wasn't used to be living where there was timber. And he kept telling me, I think we're going to run off in that branch down there, and things like that. Just trying to get me excited all the time. And was I glad to get where we lived. And what I did the next morning, I'd heard so much about sweet gum on trees here. We thought that would be fun. And we just picked off across the field to the woods to get some sweet gum. But it wasn't nearly as nice as I thought it was. Because it was too soft. If you got a little soft, it was too soft and would stick to your teeth. But we had a lot of fun there on that place with our parents. Enjoyed living there. And my father put out an orchard on one side of the house, and on the other side was an orchard when we went there. And we always enjoyed living there. Papa had different kind of animals. He had ponies and raised colts, and he bought some sheep and kept them for quite a while. And just different animals. I know it came up a cloud one evening and one little lamb didn't come in with the others. And Archie, my brother, just older than me, went and got that little lamb and brought it in. It was hung on some briars. And this is something that Lamar gave me before Vaughn was born, on Christmas before Vaughn was born, and she was born the 3rd of April, wasn't it? And he got me this just before a while before she was born. And we was living on my sister's place at that time, where Maud and Tom Bradshaw lived. But my sister had died before.
Can you open it?
I don't have pictures in it now. I planned to put pictures in it. But it made music at the time, but the music box is broke now. And Lamar gave me a watch before we were married. But this is one that my children gave me. But this is a necklace, a lavalier that he gave me not long after we were married. And it's my birthstone that's in it. And this is a watch that Leela gave me later. But Vaughn chose this one for me, and I think all the children paid on this one.
What do you remember about school?
We went to school at Enon. We was too far from Kelsey to come to this school. But we went to school at Enon, but we always come to church over here. And when it happened that we couldn't get over here, something happened, we'd go up to the Enon church sometime, to the Baptist church up there. That's the children I went to school with went up there. But most of us we were mostly the Mormons that went there. Some few others came in part of the time.
Where did you move to when you left the Bradshaw place?
When we left the Bradshaw place, we lived with Lamar's parents until the war ended, and then we moved to the Bradshaw place, and from there we moved up near Rosewood, not too far from Rosewood, maybe a mile or and a half for a year, and then we moved to the Holloway place, I believe, then.
Where was Vaughn born?
Vaughn was born on my sister's and her husband's place, Bradshaw place.
And how long did you live at the Holloway place?
We lived there, I guess, maybe 2 or 3 years. I don't remember just how long.
Who was born there?
You should have asked me that before.
Then where did you move? From the Holloway place?
Well, we went up, stayed up Kelsey through in the fall, and Sarah and Will lived there, and they wanted me to stay there and milk their cows while they were gone, off in the fall picking cotton, and we stayed there that fall, and Connie picked some cotton for us on where we had been living. And from that place, after they come back from their cotton picking, we went back to the Holloway place, but we moved to Tommy Denton's place, my sister and her husband's place, in the bottom there, Kelsey Creek bottom. And we stayed there 2 years, I believe, moved back to the Holloway place, and from there we moved to the Freed place. Mr. Freed's place, and where there was an arch over the gate where we drove in. And there was a lake there, and we went boat riding quite often, and it was a nice place to live, and we enjoyed it a lot. And that's where, on the Holloway place, is where this picture up here was made. And there's a picture over on that wall where the Kelsey School and the gym was. That was the first gym in Upshur County. And the missionaries worked there at that school, were teachers, and they got that gym built there. And the picture over on the other wall, it was in the bottom where we lived on Tommy Denton's place. And there's some cotton there by it. Vaughn started school when we lived there at that place.
Where did she go?
She went to Eamon School. It was a little over a mile, I guess, to that school. About a mile and a quarter, maybe.
Tell about going to, about riding a horse to work. Then you walk to work at first?
I walked to work for a long time, and it was like the tenth being a 5 miles. A tenth of a mile being 5 miles.
From
And
where?
From the Holloway place. And on that job, we had to work till we got all the specials out. I was working in a laundry. And I'd work there till dark, getting those specials out, and then walk home by myself. And then later on, I got a horse from Papa and started riding a horse to work.
Then you moved so you wouldn't have to walk so far.
That's when I moved to the free place. And I didn't have to walk so far, and then I got a car. And we drove the car. Lamar finally went to work there, and he worked there for a long time, and they finally sold that laundry. And I went to work at the hospital, running the laundry there for them.
Before then, you had a restaurant, didn't you?
Well, we did have a, that was after I went to work. We had, well, I don't remember. I worked at the laundry first, and went to work at, and got this cafe and went to work in there. We run a cafe for a while there in Gilmer.
Then you baked pies and cakes.
I baked pies and cakes for the cafe, and we sold that, and Dr. Madison wanted me to come to work at the hospital there and deal with their laundry. So I went there and worked there until I retired. I don't remember what year I retired, but I went back and checked once in a while to see if everything was running right. They asked me to do that, and I'd work a day now and then and check everything to see if it was going well.
How many years did you work?
I forgot.
Started to work at when Faye was 5.
I believe I did. I started to work when Fayreen was 3. And I got Jessie Odom, Arby Odom's wife, and she had a child to come there and stay at my house so Fayreen could stay there at home. And I know on her, she wasn't 3, I don't believe, at first. And on her birthday, I let her go and sit right there on the stool where I was working all day. I had promised her she could do that. And I was running presses, and I run from 2 presses all the time. And some